Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about the process of translocation. We know that there are two types of vascular tissues in plants, xylem tissue and phloem tissue. Xylem tissues, they help in conduction of water and minerals in the plant, okay? And phloem tissue, they helps in translocation of food in the plant, okay? Now translocation is actually a process in which sucrose and amino acids are translocated by phloem tissues present in the plant from source to sink, okay? So while writing the definition of translocation, you must mention about sucrose and amino acids. Plus remember that sucrose and amino acids or these food substances, they are actually translocated from source to sink. That is from the region of production to the region of storage or the region or the area of the plant where these food substances are used, okay? So source is actually the region of production, okay? The region of production or the area where these food substances are prepared, and this is actually leaves, okay? And sink is generally the area where these food substances are stored or used for the process of respiration or maybe for the process of growth and development, okay? And remember, translocation process is possible in plants because plants, they have a kind of tissue called phloem tissue, and in phloem tissue we have sieve tubes, okay? So these sieve tubes of phloem tissue helps in translocation of food, that is sucrose and amino acids, to different parts of the plant, okay? And this conduction of food by phloem tissue is actually bidirectional in plants. This is an important point, okay? It is bidirectional in plant. It could be either from upper parts of the plant to the lower parts, or it could be from lower parts of the plant to the upper part, maybe from leaves to roots, or maybe from roots to the leaves, okay? So a translocation process is bidirectional, whereas the conduction of water and minerals by xylem was unidirectional. That was taking place only in one direction, that is from roots to the upward parts of the plant, through stem to various leaves or fruits or flower, petals, etc. Okay. Now here you can see in the diagram, let us first understand about about source and sink. Okay. Source is actually the area where these food items, that is sucrose and amino acids, are produced, okay? And it can also be the region where actually these sucrose and amino acids are stored for the longer period of time, okay? Now if you see here, this plant, this is the root, okay, and it has stem and leaves, okay, and this one is actually the growing part of the plant, okay? And these leaves, they perform the process of photosynthesis. Now here this photosynthesizing leaves, these are actually the source, okay? So what happens is when the plant is actually in is performing photosynthesis, okay, leaves are present in plant and plant is performing photosynthesis. So leaves of the plant, they become source, okay? And from this source, the food items like sucrose and amino acids, they move to the storage organ, okay? And the storage organ is root, okay? Remember, roots of the plant are actually the storage organs of the plant, and hence it is sink, okay? Or this sucrose can actually move to the growing part of the plant. This tip of the plant is actually growing part of the plant, okay? And hence this tip of the plant is also a sink, okay? And what is the source? Photosynthesizing leaf, okay? One important point to be noted here is that in the process of photosynthesis, the sugar which is produced is glucose, okay? Glucose is stored in leaves in the form of starch, but this glucose is actually transported by phloem tissue to various parts of the plant in the form of sucrose, okay? So remember, phloem tissues, they always help in translocation of sucrose and amino acids, okay? If you will write that phloem tissue helps in conduction of sugar, marks will be awarded to you. But if you write like, you know, phloem tissues, they help in conduction of glucose or starch, you will get 0 marks. No marks will be awarded for that particular question. So remember, you have to write down specifically about sucrose. Okay. Now, while translocation of this food through plant, the food goes in many different directions. Okay, that means transport in phloem occurs in many different directions. It can be from leaves to the lower part of the plant, that is roots, or it can be from root to leaves or maybe like growing region of the plant. Okay, that means the source or sink in the plant keeps on changing. Okay, the position of source and sink in the plant keeps on changing, and that is actually depends on the stage of development of the plant or maybe the time of the year. Okay, so one example we can take here of deciduous plants. We know that these deciduous plants, they grow in generally the hilly regions, and these deciduous plants during winter season, they lose their leaves. Okay, they completely, actually during winter, this water which is present in the soil freezes up. Okay, it gets frozen, and hence they lose their leaves in the season of autumn, so that they can prevent the rate of, they can actually completely prevent the loss of water through the process of transpiration, because the water which is present in the soil is now present in the frozen form. Okay, so in winter what happens is, as this plant is not having any leaves, the phloem tubes, they transport dissolved sucrose and amino acids from the storage organs to other parts of the plant, so that respiration can continue. Okay, so during winters what happens is, storage organs like roots. Okay, so from roots, the sucrose is actually transported to various parts of the plant, like maybe thin branches or trunk of the tree. Okay, to various cells, and after going to the cells of these branches and trunk, the sucrose gets converted into glucose, and now it is utilized for the process of respiration. Now after winter comes the season of spring. Okay, in the season of spring, again the leaves, new leaves are being formed. Okay, and this is actually the growth period. So in spring what happens is, the storage organs, example roots, they would act as source, and many growing areas of the plant, that is new leaves or the tip of branches, or maybe a small stem is broken, and from there a new stem is being grown in the plant. So to different growing areas or regions of the plant, sucrose is transported from roots. So here the sink is growing areas or regions, and source is roots. Okay, roots are actually the storage organ. And after the plant is completely grown up, that is during summer seasons, when new leaves are completely formed, now the new leaves, they are performing photosynthesis. So what happens is, from these leaves, now these leaves have become source. Okay, so now from these leaves, this sucrose is actually now transported to various growing areas of the plant, plus it is also transported to the root. Okay, so in growing areas, it is utilized for the process of respiration, and in growing and in root, this sucrose is actually stored for winter seasons. Okay, so here the leaves, they become source, and the growing areas and roots, they become sink of the plant. I hope you people are clear with this process of translocation in plants. If you have any query or any questions related to this, kindly mention them in comments. Take care and bye-bye.